Check. Hello. Hi. Hello. Welcome to Nick Flanagan Weekly. I am Nick Flanagan. I am going to make a list of some of the albums on CD I see in front of me. In front of me, I see the Singular Adventures of the Style Council CD. I see John Fahey, the new possibility John Fahey guitar soul Christmas album, Christmas with John Fahey, Volume 2. That's one CD. Jamie Walters, self-titled. He played Ray Pruitt on Melrose Place. On Beverly Hills 90210. And I'm spoiling the next CD I see, which is Melrose Place to Music. Mamas and the Papas Dreamin' Live, Beverly Hills 90210, the soundtrack. A very special Christmas. These are just some of the CDs, inexplicably, on a CD holder I'm staring at right now as I put my first episode of Nick Flanagan Weekly in 2026 on wax, or whatever you call it. I'm recording right now. Yes, it's been a while. Things have happened. I've had to do things. I don't know if I'm going to get into them right now, because that's a few things. This isn't a solo episode. So, in the next episode, I will tell you all about why it's taken so long for me to put out a new episode. But for now, I will tell you that I have a new album coming out. The name of the album, I will tell you in the next episode as well. Tantalizing. But we've sent it out for vinyl pressing right now. The release will be within the next few months. I'm incredibly happy with the album art, with the album title. I'm even happy with the show itself. I think that if you like this long-running podcast of mine, and even if you don't like the podcast but you like my comedy, I think you will like this frickin' album, and I can't wait for you to hear it. But I'm here to tell you that I went over to my friend Damian Abraham's house. Damian? Sure. Damian Abraham's house, and we had a chat using his rig. And he sent me the file. And after I had some technical problems, I figured out how to put this episode together. So this is my talk today with Damian Abraham, who I have had on the podcast many times. We're buds. We talk. We love to jaw. He sings in the band Effed Up. Fucked Up? That's their full name. Fucked Up. Who are their Zodiac series of EPs and albums, which they've been doing for years and years. They're doing a 10-part finale to it. So the finale should be over by 2044. And you can hear the newest one. What's the newest one? Is the newest one? Yeah, it's Year of the Goat. So we talk a bit about that in this talk, but we talk about a whole lot of other things. Punk and hardcore. Random babbling. The usual life stuff. And of course he hosts the podcast Turned Out a Punk, which recently had a great interview with Greg Turkington of the On Cinema at the Cinema Show, and of course Neil Hamburger fame, friend of the show. And Larry Charles was his most recent interview. Larry Charles, one of the major directors of Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, lots of other things. I haven't listened to that episode yet, but I can't wait to. And I reposted about his Larry Charles episode, and I tagged Larry Charles, and Larry Charles reposted my repost. So that made me feel good, because I appreciate Larry Charles. He also directed Borat. Borat was a time. Young people who listen to this podcast, please let me know. How do you feel about Borat? If you're under 30, tell me how you feel about the character Borat. Email weaklypodcast at weaklypodcast@gmail.com. And of course, if you feel like supporting this at times sporadic podcast, you can go to patreon.com/Nick Flanagan or kofi.com/Nick Flanagan, which is ko-fi.com/Nick Flanagan. Let's get to the episode. Enjoy my talk with Damian Abraham. Baby.
Let's try and not say anything sketchy so you don't have to edit too much.
Why would we ever say anything
Why
sketchy?
would we, Nick?
Here I am in your basement. I'm at Damian's house because A, he knows you know how to edit a podcast and record a podcast, and you're always giving me tips on what to do. It's also always the same tip because you always see the same problem. You always say, put it through Levelator.
I'm just saying, when you have a guest on, if there is a discrepancy in volume, there are ways around it.
You know what I've forgotten how to do, and I think this is a great way to start the podcast. How do I get two USB mics to run in two separate tracks in Logic X?
That is above my pay grade.
Oh, you and your pay...
No,
Can people stop saying above my pay grade? All these capitalists.
There is a way to do it. I don't use Logic. I use GarageBand.
How about this? I'll give you any amount of money if you tell me. Then how could it be?
I don't do it. That's why we're both huddled around
kidding.
one mic.
I knew how to do that one time, but it's been so long since I've had guests that I had a guest and we wound up just talking into the same USB mic, similar to what we're doing now. So maybe the solution is always keep it simple.
Yep. I ran into the great Don Pyle yesterday on the street.
Oh.
And I was thinking, oh my God, the last time he was on the podcast was when I had the ability to record with two mics.
Why don't you have the ability?
Because I have forgotten myself and I'm not bothered to relearn it.
It is not. I mean, there's a reason all of these LA comics and podcasters go into some place that has everything set up and they have an engineer. And yet we, the fools who have so much going on in our lives that we cannot commit to going to some studio all the time to do this. We have to figure it out ourselves.
There are people that do it like that way in Toronto. Like I see them on TikTok
all the time.
There's a couple podcasts that have that kind of setup.
But I'm just saying, real ones know.
I also aren't a bunch of those weird, sketchy American streamer type podcasters like the Nelk.
Oh yeah. Nelk boys.
Are they from Toronto or something? Or
look, the negative Canadian impact on culture.
Oh God!
I mean, they're going to write about it in the history books.
Yeah.
They're going to say somehow people from Canada. Actually, there's a cohort that is the dumbest, most antisocial people, and the loudest, and also somehow the most charismatic, or at least the ones who are able to get their message across. They wound up. And Canadians, no one talks about how we use the internet the most.
Yeah.
We have a huge amount of internet usage, and we have for decades now. And so you can trace trolls back to Canada. You can trace, online hatred. Online hatred, by the way, here's I'm going to break it down for you. This is going to be the first sketchy thing we're going to have to delete. Okay, this is my theory. Wait,
let me write down the time code.
This is not Damian's theory. This is my theory. Okay? So hear me out. I think, obviously, U.S., we're talking about hundreds of millions of people, lots of people with crazy ideas. So yes, that's part of it. But most of those people are so navel-gazing. They don't even know how to use the internet, half of these people now they do, but they didn't for years.
Yeah.
Canada, the UK, and Australia are massive online purveyors of racism. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And a certain kind too. And then you get into other stuff. The only other one that I would be bold enough to say of different nation would be, I think that because India has such a complicated history of conflict just right outside of it, there's a lot of Indo-Pakistani kind of online fighting and propaganda stuff, and that's as far as I would go. And then you get into the whole argument about like, Russian bots and this kind of stuff. I'm not even really talking about that because that's more trying to influence people's opinion in a way that isn't just. I think with Canada, the UK, and Australia, it's literally just people who are like, I'm going to write this.
Yeah.
I
think we were a lot safer.
How do you feel about that? Was that a controversial take?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I feel I've not looked at the statistics, but I would back that in terms of like.
Do you think I've looked at the statistics?
I was going to say, man, you've really read up on this, Nick.
I sound right. I am a Canadian internet user. I think I'm right, and I'm just saying something.
Yeah. No, but if you look at, the effective Gavin McGuinness and Jordan Peterson during this era, they're both.
Oh yeah.
There are problems that we sent over.
I mean, Stephen Molyneux. You trace it back to David Frum. I mean, but that's a little more fancy.
But then in a more positive light, you can also trace hardcore, which is also going through a moment right now back to Canada.
You're so wonderful to bring up the positives about Canadians because the truth is, I'm like happy to be in Toronto right now.
Yeah, like
that was a measured.
No. I've thought about this for years. Like I've traveled the world, and there's definitely places I love, and I'm like, wow, it'd be great to be here for an extended period of time,
for sure.
But there's nowhere I'd rather live in the world than Toronto.
It sounds so cliche, and the problem I find with getting older is like there's a lot of cliches that it turns out are true, and it's a cliche about Toronto that people say, and Canada to an extent, but I can't speak on a lot living in other places in Canada. People here, just your average conversation you can have on the street, there's like no motivation behind the positivity that can be in like an average talk with like a person who's like driving a cab or an Uber or like you're waiting in line, something. We also have a lot of anger, but but we have way more like chill, positive, just like times. Our murder rate is lower than ever. And I read this. This is crazy to me. Our, fatal car accidents are actually at a total low right now. Which is surprising to me because I'm terrified whenever I'm on the street. Absolutely. It's still mostly pedestrians who are the people dying in these collisions, but
they don't have a car.
And of course, this is all after years of speed cameras and stuff, which probably helped reduce these accidents, which are brutal. Born in Toronto, Premier Doug Ford recently just randomly banned speed cameras because they're a cash grab.
Also, a guy who randomly hugged me.
Okay, tell me.
Without my permission.
Tell me this story.
Or consent. Years ago, I got asked by the Toronto Arts Council to moderate the arts debate with the mayor's candidates. And at this point, it was Doug running, Olivia Chow running, and man, I can't remember his name now.
The guy who was a gay male.
John Tory?
Oh.
Was that our mayor?
Oh, you were talking about John Tory. I thought you were talking about the George Smitherman. I thought you were talking about George Smitherman.
Smitherman wasn't there on this. He wasn't in this run. And it was Morgan Baskin was. And they're like the youngest mayoral candidate we've ever had.
Don't trust it.
In Toronto.
Okay.
So I got asked to do this debate. So I went down there and did the debate. And it was a lively one. And Doug was like hot off a trip to Austin.
Oh, right? He loved his trips to Austin.
Loved it. So I get there and John Tory, Olivia Chow less so, but John Tory's like legit shook about Doug Ford. He's like, because at this point, like the Fords, which they are, kind of, they've got this sort of like
they're a powerhouse family,
but it's like a sketchy vibe too. The whole thing, right? My
God, it's so questionable. Like we're literally like in an era where being ran by like Mayor Daley, like like one of these families where it's like, don't you understand? We have to make deals. We have to make deals with unsavory characters. Like there are scandals going on in this provincial administration that are just like, should be sinking him.
Yeah.
And they never do, because in Canada, I don't know, scandals are weird. It's kind of random when people step down.
We might be hearing weird rumbling, but I think that's our neighbor bringing their recycling by the window to the back.
Yeah, normally that would be my tummy around this time of the day.
It might be our tummies too.
Oh, but to our tummies.
There is a there's this like moment where John Tory, Olivia Chow come up to me and they're like, whatever happens, you can't let Doug take control of this debate. You can't let Doug do it. He's going to try, but you can't let him do it.
Who was nicer about it?
Olivia Chow, 100%. Like,
okay.
And I do like Jack Layton, but there's a fucked up song called Municipal Pricks.
Where you say she's bad.
No. She doesn't get brought up, but I do ask him to eat my asshole.
He'd have done it.
Towards the end of the song. And I kind of thought that she maybe knew this.
Why would she know that?
Well, because I think they all researched me. Because they all knew about fucked up,
so.
Right?
First of all, I mean...
This was a high-stakes election, you're forgetting, right?
Oh, yes, I remember it. This is the one that John Tory won in the end.
Yeah.
And those are three very big candidates. This was just a little... I guess I'm technically a host of this podcast. Like,
this is your show.
My podcast.
Yeah, this isn't turned out a house. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Like, this was the election that Olivia Chow stepped down from a role in provincial government.
Yes.
To run for mayor. She then lost. So yes. She lost. No, she was representing basically this part of Toronto that Chinatown is part of, and she has a huge amount of support in the Asian community, or she has had in the past. She represented them very well for years. And so when she stepped away from her riding, I think it felt like a bit of a betrayal. And then for that, and then she lost, and it was just like, oh man,
yeah. So we're like, we go out to go, and then Doug shows up, right? He like comes in, and it's like this the circus is rolled into town type thing.
Yeah.
But he is the nicest out of all of them to me.
Oh yeah.
But like, obviously, I'm not voting for him at any point. Like, there was never a consideration I would vote for him. But it was just funny how he's like, hey.
Being fun and folksy is the Ford thing.
That's the Ford thing, right?
Yeah.
So he comes up, hey, you're in that band, huh? You ever play that thing in Austin, that the big festival, the famous World Festival? And I'm like,
South by Southwest.
I'm like, yeah, but he's talking about Austin City Limits because that's the only fucking festival he's been to. So I'm like, yeah, we played it, and he's like, oh my god, what a great time, huh?
Yeah, you have the barbecue?
100%. Okay. The barbecue, and then we go out there, right?
Etobicoke has a barbecue fest. We do a barbecue fest out there. Ford, we got a Ford Day, and we actually bring out some of the barbecue people from Barbecue Fest at Ford Day, at Ford Fest.
Yeah, so we go out there, we do this debate, and it's lively, but it's fine. But then it gets to a point, and it's like Olivia Chow goes over her time.
Oh, he wouldn't like that.
No, but John Tory, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to. That was the one thing I was like told by the people putting it on. Like, listen,
don't let anyone go over time.
No one can go over time, and that's how you show your impartiality, right? Like, you can't like let them go over time, and you can't there are certain rules I had to follow. It was actually a really amazing experience.
This was back when not being allowed to go over time was at least lightly enforced.
Yeah, so I'm like, stop. I'm like, please, you got to stop this. You got to stop this, right? And then John Tory gives me like the it's okay thing. And then Olivia Chow goes on this thing about a cocktail napkin and how that's John Tory, who was in the lead at this point. This is his transit plan, just drawn on the back of a cocktail napkin. And just, it completely flames out with the audience. And that was like sort of not a great moment for her campaign, which was already kind of heading in you're saying,
but she needed that direction. Campaign so she could now be the mayor.
Yeah, she's their mayor, right? Like, ultimately, everyone kind of came out.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone
got out of office in the end.
Everyone got out of office. John Tory stepped down as mayor because he was having an affair with somebody. And then when he left office, I think that person happened to get a job that did relate somehow to like one of John Tory's interests. I mean, he was probably... in terms of corporate interests, he was like the most compromised of all of the mayors we've had. Doug Ford is the most compromised with like just like glad handing buddies, mostly probably in development and construction. But because he worked in a sticker making factory. He probably has a lot of connections in people who do a shitty job providing supplies to the city, and we're probably getting overcharged and
allegedly.
Probably.
Saving your podcast.
Probably.
I don't know if probably saves you.
Allegedly sounds more like I'm saying that's what it is.
The Colt Cabana CM Punk podcast precedents.
Was it sued?
Yeah, by WWE. They ended up winning though, but like we just don't want to get in that situation.
Colt Cabana, thanks to you. Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana. He, because of you, most likely, played Team Crud Combo, our wrestling song, 2 words, Suck It, on his podcast.
Yes, he did. Yeah, I made that as a request.
That's beautiful.
I feel like you are a underrated part of the punk wrestling connection.
That song alone allows me all access to Japanese wrestling.
So
wait, last thing.
You want me to finish the story?
Yes.
So we do this debate.
I'd love to talk about municipal politics.
And then I leave, and Jonah's the only person. Like Lauren's there, a couple friends from Vice are there.
Hunky guitarist, drummer primarily, songwriter and drummer.
Yeah,
Jonah Falco,
Mike Whisperer. Jonah Falco.
Mike Whisperer.
He is
the Damian Yeller.
Arguably, like certainly the greatest person in Fucked Up. Arguably the greatest person in Toronto hardcore. Maybe hardcore worldwide.
Do you also mean this personally? You think he is one of the greatest people you know?
100%.
I think that's just nice to have that opinion of an old friend. These guys have been in a band.
Here, Nick, I'm going to tell you to stop sweep because that's going to show up on the mic.
Okay. These guys have been in a band for 26 years? 25 years?
Yeah.
And he's still able to say that he loves Jonah, which is easy to do. I love Jonah too. So.
Yeah, and like I think
I have much less skin to skin contact.
If you look at this moment in music, there's like from Homefront to High Vis.
Yeah, he's produced a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, the last Alexis on Fire record.
I should get him to produce Wrong Hole if we put something out.
Let me tell you, he does every band, like bands
it's like DIY free, right?
Yeah.
If we provide the space,
I think hopefully he's moved on past that now. I think that was Jonah for a long time was DIY free, but now I think he's.
Here's my problem.
DIY very reasonable, Jonah Falco. But so I see.
Can Andrew pay instead of me?
Yeah, definitely get Andrew to pay.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% get Andrew to pay.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got that. He's got that Deadly Snakes money to throw around.
Deadly Snakes, Andrew's band, Andrew from Wrong Hole, my band with Andrew. The Deadly Snakes have a song in, I can't remember. I think it's the Hockey Gay Show.
Oh, really?
Which I keep wanting to say Hidden Figures.
Heated Rivalry.
It's definitely not called Hidden Figures.
No.
It's Heated Rivalry.
Very much not Hidden Figures.
Should I delete me accidentally confusing?
I think that speaks more to your lack of pop culture knowledge.
No, it's just because they sort of sound the same. And it's a song Andrew wrote. So this guy...
He's rolling in it right now.
Well, unfortunately, apparently it just upped the Spotify streams, so I don't think he'll make...
He's up like at least a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what my SoCan residuals are every quarter?
What's that?
37 cents, I want to say.
Oh, that's, something. I'm probably contributing that a little bit on some of these services.
I like that.
Hey, by the way, Teen Crud Combo, not on streaming.
Well, that's because we are boycotting.
Oh, okay.
No, the truth is, well, I don't even know if I should really get into it. Basically, it's like, do I have to re-record the songs with like certain lyrics changed in order?
Yeah.
I think it's just from like, there's a habit I've found in almost every song, including a lot of Brutal Nights, where it's like, there's always a few lines that are like, wow. You just called this person ugly for no reason,
I think you can get away with ugly. You know what you should do, though? Put a little speech, like a spoken word speech in front of every song that has a lyric where you're just like, listen.
I think we should just have that in general.
In every song.
Like Disney Plus can have Song of the South. It just needs to be supplemented with like a lot of explanation and, maybe not hard condemnation because that creates a backlash.
You're lumping Secret Combo in with Song of the South right now. I don't think you should.
Well, it's all media. It's all media.
Anyway, so Jonah, I'm at this fucking debate, and I finished the debate, and it's at that TIFF Lightbox Theater, right? So I'm down one of the escalators, and this like Humber news channel comes over and says, "Hey, can we grab an interview with you about that debate real quick?" And I'm like, "Oh, for sure!" Like student college news channel, right? So I'm talking to him, and I see Jonah coming down the escalator, in front of me as I'm talking to them.
Yeah, and
then he's kind of behind me. And then someone comes up from nowhere and just grabs me in a big bear hug. And I think it's Jonah, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, it doesn't smell like Jonah. But Jonah and I share a room, right?
I know who this is.
I turn her and he's like, I love this fucking guy.
That's right. That's
Big
how
Doug.
It gets you. And that's all it takes to win over voters in Canada.
But then I turned to the camera after he walked away and I said, still not fucking voting for him?
Of course you're not. But I had this experience, I met Frank D'Angelo, who is a local legend and host of Legend. I don't know. Legend's a weird word.
Yeah, where are you going?
He's like a cable TV guy who bought a talk show, bought space so he could put on his own talk show that he pays for completely on the air, and he's made movies with all of the money he has from this fruit company. It's all very strange. And I've been obsessed with his show. And, I normally if somebody is entertaining me in a way that I'm not 100% sure, where the entertainment's coming from, I like to keep a close, a distance.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who's we live in a new era, this especially 10 years ago, where the journalist class in Canada and the US was sort of openly derisive about things that were quote, so bad it's good. So this is how you wind up with a movie about The Room being made. This is how you wind up, and bless Seth Rogen, if not James Franco. I got no problem with that guy, but Seth Rogen.
You're really
Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth Rogen. Okay, yeah.
I got a problem with Franco.
Yeah, I was gonna say less James Franco.
A weird guy.
Yeah, he's very much he's a strange dude.
He's a strange guy, but Seth Rogen, I gotta give this guy some love.
I think I'd probably have a good time smoking weed with him. I think we'd get along.
Hey, wow.
we could definitely jive on that.
Yeah, he tries to make the movies he wants to make.
You could put you have interacted with,
and he's a Canadian boy.
You've interacted with some deplorables over the years, though, right?
Less than you.
Well,
no,
the
definitely less.
guy.
Yeah, the list. You've probably interacted with Gavin McInnes more than I have.
Well, he was on the Wedge.
Yeah, and
this is pre Proud Boy Gavin McInnes.
The truth is, there was no pre-Proud Boy. He's always been the same. It was just accepted more, and he hit it with humor.
He was in an anarchist punk band back in the day.
That doesn't mean anything.
He was in the band.
He's an anarchist.
He was in the band with the guy from Godspeed You Black Emperor.
Yeah, but he was really good friends with Derek Beckles.
No, he's just a guy who likes attention. And he's always been about getting attention. And then he just doubled down so far that he had to become the asshole.
No, he did. There was an issue of Vice years ago. I'm telling you, this is the thing about...
I know what you're going to talk about. There's no way you know
The New Conservatives?
I'm talking about the one where you interviewed David Duke.
No, I'm talking about that there was an interview with... there was an article... There was an issue of Vice that was during their... I believe New York, early in the New York period, where they moved the office to New York at the beginning, and it was still it was very, very hip. It was when they went from Montreal to New York, that was almost when they were at their coolest, at the very beginning of that. The coolest.
I would argue that, but go on. In terms of, you mean pop culture?
Well,
cool?
for me, that was when they had that great interview with Andrew WK that kind of broke Andrew WK before anyone heard his music.
And he was on the cover even before that.
He did have a picture on the cover. There wasn't even an article about him. He just was on the cover before that. And you were having, I think that was around the time of the first couple of photo issues, which was all Ryan McGinley stuff.
Yeah, and Terry Richardson too.
And Terry Richardson. And
I got stories about that.
Photo shoot. You've probably met him.
I did a photo shoot with him.
See? I've never met Terry Richardson.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying,
you cannot. You've spent so many times. long.
I'm just in pop culture. I'm not seeking out these deplorables to interact with.
You're
just talking about the fruit guy that you're I'm looking for this.
No, I am not looking for him.
Okay, I thought you interacted with him.
People interacted with him, and I got roped in, and I went on his show in the end. And Frank D'Angelo, being Frank with Frank D'Angelo. And he was in a very odd way, he was very nice, you know? And it's like, I'm just going to take him as it comes in that, because I don't think he's in a place where I need to. I don't need to condemn very many people. Nobody cares.
That's the thing. In my deplorables, I need to condemn them. Like Gavin McGinnis, Terry Richardson.
I had one evening, I've probably met Gavin, I want to say 3 times, maybe twice. But we have this friend in common who they're no longer friends, but Derek Beckles. And that was the main time. It was when I did the music festival Sled Island. And he called me and he said, no one wants to hang out with me. I even called and texted Nardwar. He doesn't want to hang out with me. You want to hang out? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then so...
How did that feel? You're like...
and
after the Nardwar call, too.
Yeah, I'm just like, I have no self-respect, I guess.
What did Gavin think the hang... What
would Gavin plus Nardwar as a hang be? I think he was just doing sort of like a buddy jokey with me, but also a little diminishing, but also like he doesn't hate Nardwar. You know, when I say he doesn't hate Nardwar, I just mean, you know, nobody could hate Nardwar.
Well, there's also Nardwar pre-Ascent.
This was during the sort of beginning of this was during Nardwar's Much Music period, which was like where he was the most visible in Canada.
They never paid him for.
Assholes.
That's crazy.
Poor Nard.
When I was doing the Wedge, I was like, yo, we should try and get Nardwar back. Like, they're like, yeah, we never really paid him for those segments back then. And so, you know, we don't think that would work anymore. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pay Nardwar.
Pay Nardwar!
Jesus Christ.
It's like all these companies that had this like gold slip through their fingers just because like...
Yeah, they're too cheap.
You know, like Vice and Maddie Matheson or, you know, like it's like, damn, you had the keys to the kingdom, but...
They'd rather just hold on to what they have and give someone nothing for as long as they can. And, you know, that's why I had to... crawl here on my hands and knees.
Do you want to see something crazy?
I love having your tapes. I just want to paint you a picture. All of these cassettes here. He's got the Bionic cassette. Now, a lot of you might not know Bionic.
John Cummins band.
From the Doughboys.
But check out what label it's on. SSG Records. Shane, Sarouche, Gavin.
Wild.
Records. Pre-Vice Records. This is the one that I always thought it was the dude from Tricky Woo.
His label?
No, that did this thing that I'm about to say. But then someone told me, or Cummins told me that it was actually a guy from Bionic, one of the dudes from Bionic. But they jumped Gavin, Sarouche, and Shane outside of the Buff Tech in Montreal one night. And I had heard that they had bit one of the tops of their ears off. And so I brought him to one time I met Gavin, I'm like, oh yeah, like blah blah trick. Oh no, he was on the Wedge. Much Music had booked him on the Wedge, so he's on the Wedge, and I'm like, and I'm gonna play you a song now. Here's a song by a band called Tricky Woo, and he's like, I guess he thought they bit his ear off. He's like, I'm like, did you know that band? He's like, yeah, one of them bit the fucking top of my ear off.
I know that they got in a fight with Tricky Woo.
Yeah,
that definitely was something.
Cummins told me the dude from Bionic bit his ear off.
I mean, maybe that's other ear. You know?
I know, he's missing the top of his fucking ear.
You know, I mean, the funny thing is Gavin is in a total prison of his own making, and I can't feel bad for him, but, you know, it's just like, it's where it was always going to go. I mean, the thing is, everything, like, even from the beginning of Vice, and I feel bad, because I was, like, part of this. It was just like, it's kind of like, mean sarcasm adds like this is funny.
But that's the era, right? It's Dennis Leary doing MTV
but Dennis Leary was a stand-up. Like, Dennis Leary was like writing and he was like, I'm a comedian.
No, but this is like also the era of the truth teller, right? Like the post-Bill Hicks.
They were comedians too. No, there's no post-Bill Hicks truth. I mean, it's post-Bill Hicks
but like,
era-wise.
I mean, like where people like kind of put the comedian
they were hungry
into that
for
place.
that.
Yes.
They were hungry for that. So what happened was you had like David Cross got that. So his jokes are from that era, from his albums. Like some of them, you're just like, this is so self-righteous or something. Like he plays himself so above things that he's probably not above. But at the same time, David Cross had great comic timing. He wrote. I really can't stress this enough. Like the whole thing with like Gavin is that his mindset was, oh, that's easy. I could do that. That's like that's his brand. He'll say, guys, it's easy. You just do this. This is how you get over a hangover. This is how you kiss a girl. This is how you like, that's what the do's and don'ts was, was just someone being like, look at this. This is stupid. Here's my thing about this. And it was funny because Derek was helping with Derek's
what was it called
funny.
before do's and don'ts?
Afterwards it was called Street Boners.
But it had something before that. Remember before it was do's and don'ts? It was like a...
Should I look it up?
Fuck, in the early issues.
Keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah, like I think that whole era was like Rollins, cynical, like Janine Garofalo. Like, not that obviously these are false equivalencies, and I'm not saying they're the same thing, but I just think this was the time.
I mean, period. Rollins is that's getting into like a territory that's more similar, and I think this is actually, I don't know who we're entertaining with this discussion, but I'll tell you this, like back in the day, like when I was working at a music distribution warehouse, and yes, I've abandoned looking up what the do's and don'ts were originally called. Please leave a message, mail the podcast at weaklypodcast@gmail.com. Tell me what do's and don'ts was called. Tell me your Vice stories. Tell me your Gavin stories. I'll say allegedly before them and we'll be fine. But this was the time, concurrent or post Bill Hicks, whatever you want to talk about, we were listening to Jello Biafra's spoken word albums. Yeah. That were increasingly long. They were eventually like 3 hours. They were like 5 CD. There was Henry Rollins' spoken word. There was, what's his name? There was just a lot of stuff that was like people speaking truth, started to be kind of mixed in. You're sort of making a point. Like it did kind of bleed into stuff like Dennis Leary, stuff like Janine Garofalo, who became very political pretty quickly in her career. And then
the extreme end, you had Jim Goad in Answer Me, reflecting like the most extreme version of that, and that's what Gavin was a disciple of.
Yes, Gavin was definitely a disciple of Jim Goad, and Jim Goad was someone who, when I was, and we were in our like late teens, let's say, like, and his zine Answer Me were like viewed as kind of like the tough older brother who like, was kind of a dick, but like you kind of like wanted to learn stuff from or something, like that was Answer Me was very proud of being.
It was like the G.G. Allen of fanzines.
Super un-PC. It did a lot of stuff, too, that, like, the internet basically took over from Answer Me with a lot of their obsessions that drew people in.
Oh, like the serial killer, the way they talked about
serial killers. They did the top 100 serial killers, top 100 suicides, and, like, that seemed edgy but informational or something, like, and dark. When you're young and you're reading it, you're like, this is so dark subject matter. It's like interesting how messed up everything is. Now it's like you don't need that. You just go on like it's a very lucrative world of podcasts and this type of thing now, especially murderers, obviously.
Goad's interesting because he's a failed actor too.
I'm not surprised. He's got that total like pseudo rockabilly, like kind of a tough guy look. Yeah.
Because like if you think about what real tough guys were like in that era, they weren't like dressed like greasers from the 1950s.
Who's the toughest alternative rocker?
I Like, do we punk and hardcore people are in there too?
Let's try to keep it to
alt rock.
You know, like I'm talking about, you know, your Alice in Chains, your Sandbox. Quicksand can be in there.
Yeah.
If we got Quicksand, is that Helmet?
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm sure there's like
I really made it
bands.
the weirdest category. It can't be hardcore. So I'm talking about Kim Thale.
I don't think Kim Thale's a fighter. I love Kim Thale.
Have you met Kim Thale?
Never. Kim Thale played an Identity Crisis with one of the dudes from Sub Pop's little brothers in Chicago or in Illinois, kind of suburbs of Illinois. So he was like a hardcore kid. So I don't think he was like a street fighting man. I don't know. I'm trying to think like.
Do you think anyone in Nirvana could lay it down?
I'm sure like Kurt has probably like taken some punches.
And
in his
Chris
time and
probably
fought.
didn't need to because he was tall.
Yeah, but like those are like, you know, they grew up in like kind of, as they said, rednecky towns, being weird. Like those kids learned to fight. Yeah,
like a lot of those Washington people probably had to scrap a bit, you know.
Yeah, no, but I don't want to get into the story because it's probably not my story. It's not my story to tell.
Damn.
But Dale Crover, I like that guy's a tough motherfucker. Not in like a way that he's like I haven't seen him fight, but I've seen him be fucking fearless several times.
Do you think Albini could fight?
No. Did
you record with him?
No.
Did you meet him?
Yeah.
How was that? Steve Albini. Well, super engineer. Don't call him a producer.
Rest in peace, Steve.
Well, there's a lot of people. He's canceled.
Well, for some people, definitely. I met him.
That's a tricky one, isn't it?
It is definitely a tricky one because if you actually, it's a very tricky one. But rest in peace to him because we got like some mutual friends and.
No, there's a certain kind of person who is not possible for people like us to fully be mad at, especially given the way that he spoke about.
Well, he also tried to be a better person.
And like the edginess attempts are just.
Well, that's the thing is he never came off to me, and I wasn't around, and so maybe it was more threatening there. But to me, it never came off as threatening. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like a very Jim Cornette-esque kind of vibe.
Yeah, like a put on.
You know, and I feel like when I met Steve, he was super cool.
Yeah.
He did insist that I had recorded with him, and did insist that he had played me the tapes for the Process of Elimination comp, which was Jonah.
Okay, well
it was Jonah.
He
didn't record fucked up. They were just recording out electrical, and Jonah got introduced to him, and they started talking, and he played him the tapes, and Jonah told me. Yeah. And I'm like, no, that was Jonah. And he goes, no, it was you. I'm like, 1,000% Steve. It wasn't me. It was Jonah. But the story's okay. So he hates L.A. Like, he hated L.A.
Oh, God.
Right? He only liked two things in L.A. The Germs and Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. So we were doing this TV show at the time, and it was...
If those are the only two things you like, you probably actually like LA. Like, those are both... Like the Germs is representative of a lot of great stuff from LA.
Yeah, but doesn't like other LA bands.
Doesn't like the Weirdos.
No, he was like not in any of its stuff. He's like, no, like Chicago Punk's way better.
You know what? The Germs is a very strange special band. But
yeah, absolutely.
Go on.
So we were like, hey, do you want to do something when you're in LA? He's like, I only like two things in LA. And so Amber, who was producing it, great, amazing producer, was like, well, let's get someone from the Germs. I'm like, okay, well, you know, Don Bowles is around. So they reached out to Don Bowles, and he met us at Roscoe Chicken and Waffles. And so,
which location?
The original one.
Well, I don't know where.
The one that's like on a side street, or is the only one I've ever been to?
The one that's like sort of near Amoeba?
La Brea. This is near La Brea Tar Pits. And so we go into the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. We're there setting up. People from Roscoe's were the coolest people to us. They were so nice and like so accommodating.
I always enjoyed when I go there.
It was, but like, you know, when you do shoots for stuff, how you're always like a bit of a imposition on the business.
Right.
And especially because this was for a pilot, but they were just like so like absolutely whatever you need. Like it was just
that's super. It
was really nice.
I once saw Questlove walk in there.
Oh yeah, well this was like, you know, like I'm like, this is the spot, right? I've been there a few times by this point. So we go in, we set up, and then Don shows up, and he's Don Bowles. Right. He's a character, 100% a character. And then Steve shows up, and we have this interaction where he insists I've recorded with him or been to the studio, and I hadn't. And then Don goes up, he goes, "Hey, Steve, great to see you again. Or great to finally meet you in person after talking on all those years on the phone." And Steve goes, "We've never spoken, Don." He goes, "Yes, we have." He's like, "If you say so." And then our sound guy...
He just messes with everybody.
Well, then, no, it's not like he's messing with these people. Like, it's like he's arguing you to a point where you're like, fuck, dude, sure, whatever. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Like, I don't, like, it wasn't, like,
this.
Frustrating and to a point where I'm like, I don't still, you know, pass on my deepest condolences. So we...
Same.
So we sit down, we eat food. It's great. It's an amazing conversation. And then it gets to the end of the conversation, and Don's telling us crazy stuff, like hanging out with the Manson family and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
And then, which is real. I mean, it's not making this shit up, but like...
No.
And then it gets to the end of the meal, and he's like, "And you know, Steve, it's just like the last time I spoke to you on the phone."
Oh, don't bring it back up.
And he goes, "As I told you before, Don, we have not spoken on the phone." He goes, "Yes, we did. Yes, you had just done the Pixies record, and I love the production, and I got your number, and I called you about producing the Celebrity Skin record."
I don't produce, I just record.
Well, I called you about doing... I think he even got that right. He's like, "Called you about doing the Celebrity Skin record." And you said, "Oh, for sure." And then I sent you a copy of the CD.
What did Don Bowles have to do with the Celebrity Skin record by the band Hole?
This is the band Celebrity Skin.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Featuring Don Bowles.
Sure.
Predates it.
Let me just call my producer. We're going to have to cut out the... Hey, John.
So he's like, and you said, "Okay, well, send me your record." So I sent you a record. Then I wrote you a little letter. And then I sent you a photo of our band. You know, but I never heard from you, Steve. And then a few weeks later, in the mail, comes a package from you. And there's the record, smashed to pieces, stuffed back in the sleeve. And there's the picture, torn to pieces, stuffed back in the sleeve.
That's horrible.
There's the letter, torn to pieces.
Don't do that to Don Bowles.
You wrote, "Fuck you," on the cover. Oh. Steve Albini. He goes, "Don, that sounds a little harsh even for me." He goes, "No, you did do that, Steve. You did do that."
Did they fight?
No, Steve's like, I'm sorry then.
That's amazing.
It was a great meal. Other than that,
so funny,
amazing moment of catharsis for Don Bowles.
I just remember being like, probably in the early 2000s, there was this thing where Steve Albini, who up until then was like very shadowy kind of figure, he had these scary bands. You know, I loved Shellac. I really only started listening to the music he made with like Shellac. That was like my era.
I love Big Black.
Yeah, I was like ready to get into Big Black, but I didn't really listen to Big Black. Yeah. Like it was like I loved At Action Park, and was that an EP? I don't even remember.
So Shellac feels a little less negative than Big Black was.
Well, Shellac just came at such a neat time in like alternative indie rock, because I was listening to that band Polvo at the same time, and then Pavement. So there were like these sort of gradients of like aggression or something in bands and experimentalness, you know? And so Shellac made sense. It was almost like a weird link to me between like that type of indie rock and the more noise-oriented indie rock that was like, I thought of as indie rock, like Amphetamine Reptile Records and sludge rock and this type of thing. But yeah, I loved Shellac. I saw them one time, I'm fairly sure, in like at like the Horseshoe or something.
Yeah, I think they came a few times, right?
But in the early 2000s, it was revealed that he was like a poker guy, famously.
Huge poker guy.
And there was this poker message board, and he posted on it. And at one point on this poster message board, he's like, "Oh yeah, also I am a engineer and in Chicago, and I've recorded XYZ bands," basically revealing he's Steve Albini. Yeah. And like, he's like, if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And it's like, so there was just like this huge Q&A on a message board, poker message board of Steve Albini. And the only thing I really remember from it was that, like, when they asked who is the worst band who recorded with you, and it's well known that he said this, is like, he's like Urge Overkill. Like his answers about the worst was always Urge Overkill.
That's interesting. Because he had a band with...
Nash Cato?
Yeah.
Oh. Very humiliating story is one time I was at a band called Wigs show at Sneaky D's in Toronto, and I enjoyed the songs Positive Bleeding by Urge Overkill and Sister Havana by Urge Overkill. And Nash Cato walks in, and I'm super starstruck. And I say to my friend Andrew from Wrong Hole, "That's Nash effing Cato." I can swear. I could swear. But, sometimes we don't have to. Anyway, I do think we probably have to wrap up.
Yeah, I think my kids are home.
They definitely are. I'm hearing them call your name. Daddy.
No, they're not that young.
Daddy!
No, they're up there. They're eating
Daddy!
flaming hot Cheetos on Friday.
Let me tell you, put on the Year of a Goat.
That's how we're supposed to start this thing.
Year of the Goat. I put on the newest effed up release. Year of the Goat. This is what I do now. I don't like to swear now. Do you want to be 70 and still be releasing under the name Fucked Up?
I don't think I have a choice.
I don't think you have a choice.
I think at this point, like, this record is all Mike and Jonah. It's Mike.
But you're yodeling and howling all over it.
Yeah, like I like.
How much of the vocals on the first song? Because there's a lot of different male vocals. How much of that is you?
I don't know.
Because we've been. Are you emailing them your verses?
Yeah. I go in the studio with Dylan. Fucked Up has not been in the studio together, minus that 24 hour.
Like Palace Sound, Dylan.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Best dude. Love Dylan. Dylan Franklin. Shout out.
Wonderful.
If you can work with Dylan,
just performed in Nairobi.
Yep. He's a great dude, and I love going in with Dylan. We hang out, we record stuff. So I enjoy the process of doing it. But we did that 24-hour record last year, I think it was.
Yeah.
Where Fucked Up recorded a whole record in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And that was the first time we've been in the studio together since David Comes to Life.
I mean, that must have been nice.
Before that.
That must have been fun.
That was great. That 24-hour record was the most fun I think we've had.
Yeah, because it's like, I would love to be in that kind of a pressure situation, even with like Sandy, your bassist, and, and just everybody. Because you can't, you have to do it.
Yeah. I think for us, it was like, how's this going to go? Because we're not a very functional socially as a band, right, as you know. So it's like, wow, what's it going to be like on camera for 24 hours? But there was just something about it, like you're saying, the pressure thing. Jonah carried a lot of that weight.
Yeah, but he's
Jonah.
He's good at what he does.
He's very good at what he does, and so he carried a lot of the weight. But there was, it was really cool to be a part of that. So this has been Mike kind of putting this whole thing together with Jonah.
It's based on Journey to the West?
Yeah, like it's based on...
Which is a Chinese fable, right?
Yeah. And Mike is very into opera, very into Chinese literature, translated obviously, but and Chinese film and just Chinese...
My friend Jesse was the one who was talking to me about Journey from the West, so I know what it is. Like, he was showing me all these different sort of Chinese films based around it, with like these monkey guys. And it's a whole thing.
Yeah. And Mike has been like, so I wrote, I guess in the Zodiac series, I wrote Year of the Dog, which is the first one, Year of the Dragon, but out of the rest of them, it's all Mike.
Yeah.
So this is though brings in all the other Zodiac records as characters.
Okay.
That are going to be interacting. And it's going to be, I think, 5.5 hours by the time it's all.
I mean, that's what I was feeling. It's funny, when I was listening to this early track, I was like, "This sounds like a fucking soundtrack." Yeah, this was before I read the Journey to the West thing. I was like, "This sounds like a soundtrack to like an anime or something."
Yeah, well,
or like a video game,
he loves
like
video
an RPG, and I think that's cool, and it's also, what's weird about it is it's like a fully different musical language, and I think there's some people that really appeals to. Which is like, sounds like such an underhanded thing to say now that I've said it out loud.
Please send them our way.
No. I'm not going to do that. You can't. It's going to be really hard for you to appeal to the kind of people you're trying to appeal to.
It's very hard for us to appeal to anybody.
Because right now, it's like you're so deep into the 20-minute, 30-minute cuts.
That's crazy. In the era of TikTok, putting out these records, and also...
Oh, but that can win, because TikTok's all about song portions, you know?
Well, also, we are fundamentally a band that shouldn't exist at all, as you know, from knowing us all separately. But I think, like, we are so tied to the time period where we came about. Like, we fucked up couldn't have happened at any other period in music history. Because now, the algorithm, we can't advertise our shows on... Like, promoters are always like, we're fucked to promote your show.
Oh, yeah, because you're fucked up.
Because the algorithm won't allow us to share on Meta platforms and... TikTok, obviously, also.
I mean, it's so frustrating right now. Like,
it's really a small problem.
No. I'm not frustrated about fucked up having problems.
You can be a little frustrated for fucked up.
I am frustrated for you. I'm frustrated by YouTubers and people making videos where they're self-censoring words like sex or murder, and I'm equally frustrated by watching cable news where people are saying like that's bullshit and stuff. Like, everything is all weird. Like, the average person should be able to say what they want, and like reporters should like rein it in and have a little dignity, but we're like doing the opposite sometimes. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just feels like this era, it's rather dystopian right now.
But
that's the thing about, eras. They have to end. So as long as it's not like a grand ending.
Does your, spoiler alert, does Fucked Up's newest release have a grand ending?
We haven't recorded it yet. So
you heard it here first?
Yeah, we're in the process of finishing this record, because we're kind of recording it as it's coming out, pretty much. So we just wrapped up another of the chapters, I think, and there's a lot of guests coming up.
Okay.
Dwayne from Integrity's on this one.
Awesome.
And they probably get really pissed if I start giving away people.
Don't say anyone else.
But it's cool, because it feels like, for me, and Mike doesn't talk to me, so I don't know if this is by design, but like
fighting.
Well, I don't know.
Mike just keeps himself.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just very, like, I'm sure we both find fault in each other for the way our relationship has gone.
Damn.
We just find it very hard to communicate. And I think, like, I've chosen a lifestyle and Mike has chosen the band. Like, Mike is the first one to tell you that he's just kind of committed 100% to this band. Certainly in the last few years, and sort of just like...
Yeah, well, there's a lot of reasons. People have to do different things, even when they're in bands.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what that's the thing about a band that's challenging, is like, at least when you're in a relationship with someone, you're growing or changing, maybe not necessarily together, but at least around each other. In a band, you're growing and changing outside of this thing.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than a business partnership, because you're living with these people.
It's very weird.
Maybe you've been enough of these things,
It's been a minute. Well, so I'm just going to ask now if you can just close things off and tell me currently the most inspirational song lyrics that you can think of. They can be your own if you want, but something that really gets you jazzed when you hear it.
Let me just...
Yeah, get some inspiration. Look at some of the records you've got. He's got all these records. He's got a Blondie 7-inch.
I don't even know what
probably worth about $20 million. He's got a Slapshot 7-inch.
This is Lauren's
probably
record.
Worth more. Alcoholics Unanimous.
This is Lauren's record box of the Blondie 7-inch.
Okay, so you are opening up. That looks like a fucked up record.
No.
7 seconds.
Pull out a fucked up record.
He has a sealed... No. It's just in a sleeve.
I had to bring it somewhere recently, so that's why it's in a
7-second 7-inch.
I bought this at Rotate This. It was the first collectible record I bought.
The Committed for Life EP.
And now I think I realize I might have left nope, thank God.
You've got the lyric sheet.
Phew, I thought I left it this where I took it in the studio. But I bought this at Rotate This from Brian Taylor and Pierre.
Okay.
As the first collectible record I think I ever bought.
Two famous figures of Toronto vinyl.
Yeah. And there's this song on it called Committed for Life.
Love it.
And it's like I'm not trying to find the lyric actually in the song.
I trust you.
Okay, so this song Committed for Life, like as I was getting into hardcore, it says all of my friends, because once you point out that you're a little bit younger than me, but it was like kind of as the Green Day thing came and went.
Yeah.
Kids got into punk and then just immediately got out.
That's right.
And so this was like as the point where all my friends are kind of getting out of it, getting super into the Tragically Hip. Now I realize that Tragically Hip do kind of connect to punk. So,
of course.
And I do have respect and love for them. So, but at the time I was not in that mindset.
No, yeah, because it's part of the weird thing where Canadian lowest common denominator doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
they love a poetic sort of this poetic band called the Tragically Hip is suddenly appealing to people who are just like, I just want to have a beer.
Yeah,
but it's great.
But at the time, I wanted 7 seconds, and I wanted to be committed for life. So it's like people say I've changed. It's kind of like he's speaking this part, and then it goes back into the song. It's like during the breakdowny section. So it's like people say I've changed. They say I'm much different now. I've lost friends, jobs, money. So tell me why. Let me hear your reasons, because I shaved my head and it changed my head. What about our friendship? You say I'm too hardcore and I'm such a bore. Well, now you just ignore me. Well, fuck you, man. Are you happy now? Promises were broken, but who broke them first? Nick, you broke them first.
When
you broke Edge.
I never had Edge to break.
I remember you I do remember you putting O's on your hand at the show.
And then also, I had my straight edge camo shirt that I wore at shows.
Yeah.
But I was not straight edge then. I was engaging in irony.
It's funny because, I think we would have hated you if
you couldn't pin me down.
No, but also because you guys were so good, and you were so good as a front person that there was a begrudging respect. I kind of remember that Swarm show where you guys played at the 360. And coming in, and obviously I knew you from seeing you at shows and stuff, but I'm like, this guy's like a shit disturber, dude. And then you got up there, and I'm like, God damn it. Well,
he's making it work.
You sold me. You sold me completely.
Thanks to the band backing me.
Our mutual friend Dave Foley just had a birthday the other day.
Happy birthday, Dave Foley.
Look at that.
From our big party that we went to years and years ago.
Yak Backs Forever.
Yak Backs Forever. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming, Damian. That was my talk with Damian. Thank you, Damian, for letting me record at your house, for mixing it down, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for listening to it. And go to Turned Out a Punk Instagram, Turned Out a Punk on Facebook. Subscribe to his great podcast. Look for Fucked Up's newest album, You're the Goat, and all that great stuff. Support Damian. And, of course, if you want to support me, something that would really help is I am at nickflanagan.bandcamp.com or bandcamp.nickflanagan. One of those two. Look it up. And if you're on Bandcamp and you have an account on Bandcamp, maybe if you have an account on Bandcamp, follow my account on Bandcamp, and you can find out exactly when my record is coming out. I don't think I'm gonna put it on Spotify. I don't think so. I'll probably put it on YouTube Music and a couple of other things like that, but I'm gonna avoid Spotify. Anyway, you are the greatest, and as I said, if you want to go to patreon.com/nickflanagan, ko-fi.com/nickflanagan, great ways to support me. On my Bandcamp that I mentioned earlier, I do have my albums Wiped Privilege and I'm Here All Week, if you want to check those out. And, I'll be back sooner than later with an episode. Sorry it's taken so long. I'll explain why in further detail soon. I promise. Stay good.